Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on wherever you're dialing in from in the world. Welcome to the second session of today in GMAT Spotlight at GMAT Club. So I'm Linda. I'm one of the moderators here at GMAT Club, and I'm super excited to be bringing you guys representatives from UCR. So we've got Tamra, who's our admissions committee representative, and then we've also got two students with us, Emily and David, who will also be supporting the Q&A session. So some things to kind of like go over before I hand over to Tamra. First of all, if you could like and subscribe to the GMAT Club channel here on YouTube, just so we can continue to bring you guys content that is very supportive and can help throughout your MBA application journey. And then also, if you guys have any questions throughout the session and throughout the presentation, please feel free to drop them on the right of the screen in the chat box. We've got Abby who's going to be answering them as we're going along. So yeah, you'll see responses coming as and when, but we'll also be taking questions in the actual Q&A session after the presentation is completed by Tamra. I don't think I'm missing anything else. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Tamra to give the presentation on UCR. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Linda. We're so happy to be with you today. We'd like to thank the GMAT Club for allowing the University of California, Riverside School of Business to be a presenter today in the MBA Spotlight. I'm happy to share with you today, I have two amazing second-year MBA students, David and Emily. They're also some of our amazing ambassadors. And then Abby, my colleague, is on the back side. She's going to be answering your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Give me just a second to get this going. I do have to go to another screen, so give me a half a second. All right, here we go. All right, so again, I am Tamra Johnson, and I am the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment at the A. Gary Anderson Graduate School of Management at the School of Business at the University of California, Riverside. That's a mouthful, isn't it? We are happy to share with you about all of our graduate programs that we have. A little bit about UCR so you know who we are as an institution. We happen to be America's fastest rising ranked university right now. We're kind of excited about that. And we are also the nation's leader in social mobility. We are #1 in social mobility and have been now for 2 years in a row. UCR is among the top 1% of universities worldwide. And we are really considered a best value, a smart money for coming. And while I know it is kind of expensive to come to our school, you will notice that with career pays, what they are, it really does make it a smart value to come. In addition to that, we have some amazing faculty at not only the School of Business, but the University of California as a whole. We have 2 Nobel laureates at our school, and that's kind of exciting. Sorry about that. So where are we located? We are approximately 60 miles east of Los Angeles. That makes us really the center of doing a lot of great things. We are close to the mountains, the desert, the beach. You know, I like to say I could go snow skiing. Now, I don't snow ski anymore, but I could go snow skiing in the morning, and I can take off to the beach, and I can have a dinner watching the sunset over the ocean. So we're close to a lot of great things. Riverside really is kind of the hub for multicultural activities. But probably more important than that is we are an ideal location for a world-class business program because half of the goods that enter into the United States actually flow right through Southern California and right through our area. It makes it great for our faculty for research, our students for jobs and internships. You know, Riverside, the city we're located in, was actually ranked #19 for best cities in the US to grow a business. You know, our students really do kind of embrace their entrepreneurship. We have a lot of students that will graduate and directly start their companies. And I'm going to talk about one in a few minutes. In addition to that, Riverside really was named one of the safest cities in the United States. So not only is the city safe, our campus is safe. Makes you put your mind at ease, put your parents' mind at ease, right? So a little about Who are we at the School of Business? Our vision is to be an internationally recognized leader in business education and research. Our mission is we want to create knowledge through impactful research. We want to unlock that potential in our students through exceptional educational experiences and foster success in an innovative and collaborative environment. Some of our values include inclusion, integrity, innovation, and collaboration. We are an AACSB accredited school. It's a hard accreditation to get. It's almost harder to keep. I always tell students, even if you don't choose us, make sure and choose a school that is accredited. So a little bit more about AGSM specifically is we are represented by 60 different countries within our current students and our alumni. It really does make your network so huge. Currently, we have about 420 students. And why do I mention this? I mention it because we are a smaller cohort. It makes it, I think, a better experience for students. It creates this community. I like to say we are really a small family at AGSM. All of our programs are STEM designated for our international students. And we do have 5 different programs that you can choose from, which I want to talk about a little bit more in depth for you. So our first program I'm going to talk about is our MBA. And this is our MBA profile. We have about a 3.42 average GPA, a 612 average GMAT, average age is 25. Currently in our MBA class, we are 40% international, and 51% female. Woo-hoo, go females. And 89% of our students are employed within 3 months. Now, look at this word average. This is an average. This is not where all of our students are. You could sit in class with somebody that's 35, someone that's 22. I like the diversity we have, not only in ethnicity, in age, in gender, but also our undergraduate major and work experience. That really does bring a lot of different opinions and viewpoints to the table. Some of our program components for our MBA is there is a required internship. Most of our students do this between year 1 and year 2. The nice thing is we do have a career development course that's very specific for our MBA students to really help propel them, help them get where they need to be in their career, help set them up for success. The other nice thing about our program is there is either a capstone or a thesis. So if you don't like to write, and a lot of people don't, let's put all that you've learned into a capstone project. Most of our students choose a capstone project. The nice thing is we do have weekend and evening classes available as well as our morning and afternoon. So our MBA really is one that you can kind of tailor-made to what best suits you. In the first year of your MBA, you are doing 9 core business courses. These business courses are going to really set you up for a very strong foundation and really help set you up to decide, in my second year, what do I want to concentrate in? Am I better going into finance or marketing? Maybe you came in and going, I really think I want to do operations and supply chain. But you get in, you realize, I love marketing. This is where it's going to help you decide for that second year. 82 units are required for our MBA. Again, those 9 core courses and then concentrations. It's nice that we have so many different electives you can choose from. Now, this is a 2 years, that's 2 academic year program. Our professional MBA is a twin of our MBA program. So just know that there's no difference. What makes it a little different is a domestic student can actually do our professional MBA part-time and work full-time. So we really, again, try and make it accessible for all students. Our Master of Finance is a 48-unit program. It is 1 academic year, so 9 months. It's quick. Get you in, get you out. This program really was designed to help meet really that finance professional demand that there is out there. It is a very quant-heavy program, and we do recommend you come from a business, engineering, math, statistics, physics background, and make sure you get good grades because we do look specifically at those grades. This is going to really help you build that successful career in the finance industry. Some of those places our students have gone is corporate finance, investment banking, investment management. I always joke with students now, when you become very successful in that investment, don't forget about me. Look me up and say, hey, I got some great things for you. Our professors in this program are very sought after. They are very well known. In fact, a lot of our professors, students come to take classes from them. Remember, this is a STEM designated program. Our professional Master of Professional Accountancy, again, is a 48 unit, 1 academic year, 9-month program. Again, I like to say these programs are kind of programs on steroids, get you in and get you out, get you into your career, get you starting to earn money. So our professional accountancy program, or MPAC for short, meets all the requirements you need to sit for the CPA exam here in the US. It gives you all the quarter hours, unit hours, but it also gives you the education to successfully pass it. In fact, with our students, we have a historical pass rate of 100%. Now, this does require some prereqs, but it's okay if you don't have it. We do have 2 tracks. The first track is for those that do have all those prereqs. Track 2 is for those individuals that don't. You know, I'm always amazed when I have a student coming in from a psychology, arts, engineering that want to take the MPAC program. And I'm always like, why? Tell me why. And they said they want to be well-rounded. They want to have more than just one thing to fall back on. And they can do this. They just take track 2. That track 2 is they're doing those prereqs when they come into the program. Now, remember, once again, this is a STEM designated program. Our Master of Science in Business Analytics, we are so excited about it. It's a new program for us. Again, this is another one of those quick programs, 48 units, 1 year. Yeah, it can be a little flexible, and we can talk about that in a second. But this program does require that background in math, statistics, physics. Once again, our faculty admissions committee will look very specifically at your grades, and they're going to add those grades up, and they're going to determine, are you eligible? Why? Because it's so fast-paced. We want to make sure you are successful, and they want to make sure that you pass this program, you know, really learning everything. There's no room for really kind of review. It's jump right into it. The great thing about this particular program is there are 3 different career tracks you can go: marketing, finance, and operations. So this is, again, one of those that you really can tailor make to you. I think it's really neat because there are 2 capstone courses for this program. You're going to take everything you're learning and you're going to really show us that you know what you're doing in this program. And once again, this is a STEM designated program. Now, one of the reasons that we are AACSB accredited, of course, is because of our faculty. We have some pretty amazing faculty. In fact, we have 2 faculty, they're on the bottom row there, that are listed in the 40 under 40 in the Poets and Quants. In the UC school system, which we are a part of, the 10th campus system, we are second in our research for our faculty. It's pretty exciting. We're only behind Berkeley. And we hold 8 different editorships in top journal magazines. And according to the UT Dallas rankings, our faculty are number 77th in their total number of publications throughout the United States. So that's pretty exciting stuff for us. Okay, remember how I talked a little bit about entrepreneurship earlier? At the University of California, Riverside, we are very much into entrepreneurship. In fact, we have several programs that our students can be a part of. EPIC, which is our UCR Center for Entrepreneurship. Excite is where we partner with the City of Riverside, the County of Riverside, to make sure our students' ideas get to market. We also hold an Entrepreneurship Week. We partner with the Bourne's College of Engineering to do some stuff with them. And of course, we do have an Oxford Young Entrepreneur Leadership Program that you can be a part of. Val here actually graduated a year ago. And upon graduation, he had one company that he had started, and he's already started a second company. It's really exciting to see where our students are going with their ideas that they're putting out there, and they are developing some pretty amazing and creative ideas to put out to the marketplace. So our student services is they're there for our students, from everything from advising, of course, to get you into the right classes, help decide which track, which concentration you want to go into. But also they're there really to provide some great networking opportunities. Because remember, this cohort that you know is going to be your network for the future. And I think that's one of the exciting things about us being smaller, is you really get to know them well. You really get to create some lasting and bonding ideas and partnerships and friendships and relationships for your future. You know, you might be in the US and you have, you know, this network system in India, Malaysia, China, Taiwan, Peru, Japan, Mexico, and you have this great opportunity for business. Now you have a network system throughout the world. Now, as you can see, we like to party. Unfortunately, this last year, we didn't get to do that. But we are excited that this next year, since we're going to be in person, that we're going to get back into providing a lot of great social opportunities for our students. Additionally, at the University of California, Riverside, we have over 450 different clubs you can be a part of. You name it, we probably have a club for it. And if we don't have a club for it, start one. It's a great way to get to know people. But as I said earlier, 2 of my ambassadors and second-year MBA students are here. So we have this amazing ambassador program where you really get to meet our outside constituents. We have our student association group, who really is there for providing some of these fun events for our students. But in addition to that, we have a lot of great global opportunities for you to take short-term, usually only a week long, to countries all over the world. You're going to learn in institutions there. You get to visit industry there. So there's a lot of really exciting and amazing opportunities that you can take part in. Our application is super easy. And for fall 2022, our application will open up sometime mid-October. Our priority deadline is December 15th. It is an online application, and all we require is a resume that's current. We only require actually 1 essay. So in the application, there's 2 different essays, a statement of purpose and a personal history. Please feel free to combine those 2 and make that 1 essay and put it in both spots. Unless you love to write, and then go ahead and make 2 different essays. We do require unofficial transcripts and degree certificate of all the universities or colleges that you have gone to. We will need official transcripts eventually, but not right away. We only require 1 letter of recommendation. Now, we recommend this be from someone you know pretty well, whether it's a professor, maybe somebody that's a supervisor, not your mom or your sister, but someone that can talk about what you're going to bring to the table. And then, of course, if you are an international student, we do require a TOEFL or IELTS score, TOEFL 80, IELTS 7. Currently, GMAT and GRE are test optional. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you take the GMAT or GRE, it does enhance your profile, not only for your application, but also for potential for scholarships. Now, we know that getting an education at a U.S. school is expensive, and ours is expensive. I'm not going to say it isn't, but we try and really help our students. So we do have financial awards and scholarships available. In fact, we will look at every single student after you've been admitted into our program for a scholarship. We will look at you in a very holistic approach. So we look at your resume. Does work experience play into it? Of course it does. We will look at your letter of recommendation. We look at your own essay. And we don't just kind of go, oh, did they write one? We actually will read it. In fact, probably 5 people will read it. Of course, we will look at your GPA, and we will look at if you took the GMAT or GRE. Your scores do weigh a little bit more heavily, but we do like to look at the whole person to see what you bring to the table. What do you offer to us as well? So we will look at you for a scholarship. I will say for those students that get your application in during the priority deadline, you are looked at more favorably for scholarships. For our MBA and professional MBA students, you do have this unique opportunity to be a teaching assistant, and you can do that in the second year of your MBA. This does provide in that full year an additional just under $39,000 in funding. That includes a monthly salary and also some fees that are paid for you. David might talk a little bit about that because he actually got the unique opportunity of being a TA this year as someone that had to back out in our spring quarter. So he got to jump right in there. So he'll probably talk a little bit about that. In your first year for those one-year programs, you could do a campus job. You could be a reader for a professor. A reader helps a professor grade papers, grade tests. You could be a campus student worker, whether it's at another department on campus or our own department. These are all ways to help fund your education. So I just want to say thank you. We hope that you will consider the Anderson Graduate School of Management at UCR. It's a great program. There's a lot of pluses to the program, and this is my contact information. Take a screenshot, take a quick picture of it. Please feel free to contact me either through email. I do have Line, WeChat, WhatsApp. I am available to help you really achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve by getting a graduate degree at the University of California, Riverside. So now that I've talked and talked and talked, I'm going to let my students really share and talk to you about their experiences with our program. And we're going to start with David. David is a second-year MBA student. He is a co-chief ambassador, and he is actually a UCR undergrad alum as well. So I'm going to give him the floor, and he's going to really just talk to you about everything that he can think of, and then I'll let Emily go. Go ahead, David.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tamra. Really happy to be here with the GMAT Club to help give all of you some perspective this morning about possibly pursuing an MBA. Yes, my name is David. I am now second year. I just finished my first year of my MBA program at the UCR A. Gary Anderson Graduate School of Management. As Tamara mentioned, I am a chief ambassador, or one of the chief ambassadors. So this past year, I had the wonderful opportunity to do this program, this wonderful program at AGSM, where I was able to work with a small team of my cohort and be able to basically reach out to and connect with many of the prospective students who are applying or who are thinking of applying to our program, like all of you today, joining us with the GMAT Club, and just being able to help guide you and answer the questions that you have about the application process, what our school offers, and so many of the great things that make UCR UCR. Now, as Tamra mentioned, I was an undergrad at UCR. I did my undergrad in business as well, marketing as my concentration. I always tell people these have been the best 5 years of my life so far that I've been here at UCR. It's been absolutely life-changing for me in terms of the amount of opportunities, the quality of the education, the vast reach of my network that I've been able to build. And one of the things I always tell people is that, our alumni network at UCR is one of the best in the world, because besides, having folks work at companies like Google and Lucasfilm and Visa, these are people who stay in contact with the school. These are people who want to give back. They always come back in the form of, speaker series. They will come and be guest speakers at various events at our school, and they will come out and network with us as students. So you really get this chance to make these great connections with people who were at our school and now work at these great companies within the industry, and it gives you some hope in this really great semblance of what you can do with your career as you move forward within your life. So far I've had the most amazing time at AGSM. I have to say, with Tamra, staff, as well as the faculty, all the professors, everybody has done such a phenomenal job of being able to transition everything into a virtual format, whether it's for courses or whether it is for advising. If people are trying to apply to our school, everybody has done such an amazing job because they truly care. They want to see everybody succeed, whether you are a current student or a prospective student. So if you are thinking of applying, just know that whether it's Tamra, whether it is any of our other wonderful staff at the program who basically handle all the recruitment, you are in good hands. So I'll be happy to answer any questions if anybody has them, and be able to provide you with some perspective. And I'll just hand it over to Emily as well, so she can go ahead and basically provide her background as well.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Tamra and GMAT Club. I really appreciate this opportunity here today to be able to share my experience. Like Tamra said, we are represented by 60 different countries, and I am part of that community. I am an international student from Malaysia, and I am currently a second-year MBA student. I started with David. We are in the same cohort, so it's been a really great experience. Like David as well, I am part of the AGSM Student Ambassador Program. I've been given the opportunity to speak to a lot of prospective students to provide just this different perspective as a student and be able to guide them through their application process. One advice that I would give is that don't be afraid. Just go ahead and apply. Go ahead and write that personal statement. Just tell the school about you. Just tell them about your story. That was how it started. The school itself, it's super diverse, and I extremely love my experience here. Coming from out of state, I did not go to UCR as an undergrad. I went to Ohio State University. So coming from out of country and out of state, I was able to feel welcomed definitely to this community. And I was able to build my own community. I have my circle of friends. Even though everything was virtual, I was able to find my close-knit group of friends and be able to just feel welcomed. And as an international student, I think that there are a lot of questions that I didn't dare to ask. I had a lot of questions about culture, about the area, about Riverside. I didn't know anything about Riverside, but knowing that I wasn't alone and knowing that there are so many different international students from China, Korea, from India, Taiwan, knowing that, I felt comfortable. I felt that I was able to ask those questions, and knowing that maybe those questions are questions that other students didn't dare to ask. So that opportunity allowed me to really expand my community and my network. And I saw a couple questions about career development. That is something that's super unique about UCR and AGSM. We have our own career development center. Jeanette is our director, and she's so dedicated to providing so many different opportunities for networking events, to career fairs, to just speaker series, and have her connections come in and speak to students. And I think that itself really makes UCR stand out. And I was able to learn so much through that opportunity. So once again, really appreciate this opportunity to speak to you guys. And I am here to answer any questions, especially as an international student.
Brilliant. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Tamra, for the presentation, the brilliant presentation that you gave. And thank you, David and Emily, for sharing your perspective on the program. I think it's always very special when you hear from the students themselves as to what their experiences have been like whilst at the specific MBA program. So first of all, we're going to jump into some questions that were submitted beforehand on GMAT Club. And then after that, we're going to move on to the questions that have been coming through via the chat function on YouTube. So the first question that we've got is, if a student comes to UC Riverside, does he/she get vaccinated? And is there any information on the vaccination plans for students at the moment coming into the next year?
That is an excellent question, because so far our university has not come out with a requirement for the fall for our vaccines. Now, what I will tell you is I would say a good portion of our current faculty and staff and even students have already been vaccinated. We do have a School of Medicine at UCR, and so that's where I got my vaccine. Is it going to be, at least at this point, highly encouraged that you're vaccinated? Absolutely. Have they come out to say, or if there's going to be guidelines? They have not. So unfortunately, I don't have a specific answer for that.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the information that you do know, Tamra. So the second question is moving into, I guess, candidacy and GMAT scores. So how should an older candidate with a good GMAT and work experience but few extracurriculars weigh the decision of applying this year versus waiting another year and building out their extracurricular activities?
That's an excellent question. I've never had somebody ask this particular question. And I think this is great because I think your work experience stands for itself. If you think about all the things that you've done probably in your work, you could almost put those into what you would get out of extracurricular activities. You could take leadership, you could take teamwork, you could take ethics. I mean, there's so many things that in your work you are going to be able to use towards an MBA. Honestly, why wait? Get your MBA started. It's a 2-year program, and those 1-year programs out there, think about what they're lacking. So in a 2-year program, you're building so many different functions that you're going to need. But I think if you look at your work experience, you're going to realize that you really do have a lot of what you would get from an extracurricular activity.
Thanks a lot for sharing that, Tamra. So, gosh, probably one of the key questions for any admissions process. I guess more looking at the common threads of applicants who are applying to UCR. So, can you share with us the key points that separate applicants who get the interview from those who don't?
Again, another really good question. I would say someone that stands out is someone that's diverse. Someone that especially in their essay, I think the essay is going to be where you're going to capture. I know you capture my attention when I'm reading that essay. I want to know who you are. I want to know what makes you maybe unique. Let's say maybe you did not do well in your second year of your undergraduate. Was there a reason? Maybe there was a death in your family. Maybe you had an illness. You never know what really brought that on. Explain it to us. Something that captures my attention. I'm going to tell you that first paragraph is almost your most important paragraph, because if that first paragraph doesn't capture my attention, I'm going to skim your SOP. If it captures my attention, I want to know more about you. I want to know maybe about that grandfather that overcame something and really inspired you. I want to know more about that grandpa. So I think that SOP is really where you're going to capture my attention and make me go, this person doesn't even have a high 600 GMAT. They have like a 3.4 GPA and they don't even have a GMAT, but this is definitely the individual we want to interview because of what they're going to bring to the classroom. And I think it's really important to remember it's a two-way street. We're looking at what you can provide to us while you're looking at what we can provide to you.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks, Tamra. So moving on to the next question, just trying to be cognizant of time. Is UC Riverside open to students from an arts background who have been freelancing, or is full-time work experience preferred over freelance experience?
Again, we accept students from all backgrounds, no matter what your undergraduate is, your work experience, if you've been freelancing consulting, if you've been working for someone full-time, because every single person is unique in amongst themselves. We do not compare you with anyone else. We don't look at our 50 applications right now at this particular priority round and go, well, student A doesn't really fit with student C or F. We look at every single person as a unique individual. And I think that's what makes us great, is that you don't have to worry about being compared to anyone else. You are only competing with yourself.
Yeah, brilliant advice, brilliant advice. The next question was, as someone looking to pursue a career in tech product management, what are some courses, clubs and conferences at Riverside that I should be looking forward to? And I guess it's also a great question for Emily and Dave to chip in on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, Emily or David, do either one of you, can one of you answer maybe about clubs, courses, or anything like that?
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer about courses. I personally initially did not have any background and experience in tech or information systems, but then coming in, there is a course on introduction in informational systems, and there is also a concentration in information systems. So UCR AGSM itself provides a very strong foundation of classes for students who want to go into the tech industry as well as pursue information systems. And I personally love our professors in that department. They're super fun. They make students who have had or who haven't had experience in tech and information systems love BIS. And I personally learned a lot. So that itself provides very strong foundation. And as I mentioned previously, for our Career Development Center, they provide that opportunity and just job opportunities and networking opportunities for students who want to be in that industry as well.
Thank you, Emily. I guess, David, is there anything that you want to add further to Emily's response?
Yeah, no, I think Emily basically said everything, but there are definitely some clubs. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there are definitely some clubs as well where you can get involved with folks who either have budding tech startup ideas or different, people with some like engineering backgrounds who are looking to push their ideas. We actually do have this really great opportunity on campus. It's actually something I've pursued. It's called the I-Core program. It's it stands for Innovation Core. Basically, it is our Office of Technology Partnerships, where basically they have this program where they accept tech startups or basically various startups from all over the country, all over the world, to basically engage in a 8 to 9 week program where they can learn about ways that they can help develop their startup ideas and find out, is there a market for my product? Is this product going to sell? Are consumers actually interested in this? And they actually recruit MBA students every quarter to act as business consultants for these startups and to help work with them to really flesh these things out. So it's a wonderful opportunity if you're looking to go into product management, especially within tech, because you'll have I personally was in this program and I had the chance to work with a company that had developed a biometric hand scanner system that they are looking to launch within the market. So it's a really, really wonderful opportunity among many others as well, which Emily already mentioned. So definitely many, many great things if you are looking to go into tech product management.
Brilliant. Thank you, David. So moving on to the next question. What makes UC Riverside a great school for people who are looking to change careers?
Do Emily or David, do either one of you want to answer this one from a student perspective?
Yeah, so I personally, a little bit about myself, I started in professional sales. I did a little bit of that, and I got my undergraduate degree in marketing. And I was just at a point where I was thinking of probably venturing into something new, into a different industry. And then I thought about the MBA program. And then coming in, just the fact that there are so many different core classes, I was able to learn about business as a whole. I learned about finance, about supply chain, about operations, about strategy, about business strategy, and just so many different things. I was able to identify what I liked. Coming in, not knowing what exactly I wanted to pursue, and then being able to identify that, I give credit to our core classes. But not just that, bringing back our Career Development Center. I love our Career Development Center. They have appointments for students that would start with personality tests to career tests to just consulting and resume building. Just that entire process would allow students to kind of identify what their strengths are, what their personalities are, and seeing if they would be a good fit in what they want to do in the future. And once they identify that, the center and the advisors would help students to kind of identify how the steps and the process to getting that job they want and then to doing that career change. I've had friends who were lawyers before they come into our MBA program. Some of them wanted to go to med school, and then some of my really close friends were from a communications background, and then coming in, they want to do supply chain. So that is definitely possible, and that is definitely possible in UCR AGSM because you have such a strong support and network of resources that would allow you to do so.
Yeah, kind of building a little bit on that, on our Career Development Center, the CDC, we actually will be doing a summer program for incoming students, whether it's MBA, MFin, Impact, all of the programs, to really help them set them up for success to begin with before they ever begin the program, really centered more around your career. And so it's developing the tools, everything, so when you start with us, you're already one step above everyone else. And it's we're really excited about it. It's the first summer that we're doing it, and it's something that we're going to be implementing every summer in the future to really get students where they need to be before they ever come and start with us.
It sounds great. Before I move on, is there anything you wanted to add, David, or do you think everything's been covered with Tamra and Emily?
Everything's been said. I'll just add that, diversity and opportunity is our language at UCR. The diversity of the student body and of the sheer amount of opportunities available, what would really make it very easy for you to transition if you are looking to switch your careers. Our cohort has so many people from so many backgrounds. Just hearing from them about their experiences could also provide you with many perspectives. And as Emily has already mentioned, as well as Tamra, so many different opportunities available within our CDC or just various clubs on campus for you to be able to orient yourself as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I just want to note also that I absolutely love the energy that just exudes from both David and Emily, and of course you too, as well, Tamra. But it's an absolute testament, I guess, to the program at UCR.
Yeah.
So we've got about 3 minutes left. So I might jump to some of the questions from YouTube just to kind of like shake things up a bit.
Okay.
So one of the questions that have come through is, could you tell us if there are any courses tailored for healthcare economics / policy?
David or Emily, do you guys happen to know this? I know we have quite a few different courses that are tailor-made for some particular industries. I'm not sure if there's any specifically for healthcare though, right?
So economics, we do have a core class in economics, but I'm not sure about healthcare economics. That does sound. I do recall covering in some capacity healthcare within the core class for economics, which we took, but I'm not sure if we have one specifically for healthcare economics.
Yeah, I think that class covers kind of a variety of areas, but not
exactly
specific.
Another question from the YouTube viewers is, do you have connections with tech companies in San Francisco and LA for internships and job opportunities post the MBA?
We're very fortunate in that we have several different ways that we are helping our students get jobs. Through our own Career Development Center that's just for our graduate students. They work very closely with our Career Center on campus, hand in hand in bringing in and doing fairs. But in addition to that, we have quite a few of our alumni that are really spread out worldwide in some of these tech companies. And I think that's kind of what makes us unique. But we also have some current students that are in some of these tech companies that are doing our professional MBA on a part-time basis. So there's a lot of different networking opportunities in that regard. I'm always amazed when I work with our development people on campus to bring in speakers of what companies these people are associated with. It's kind of exciting for me as well, in learning about the ins and outs of some of these fabulous companies that are available to our students.
Brilliant. I know that we've got about 30 seconds left. So I'll probably wrap it up here. But I'll also mention that there is a Q&A Zoom session happening at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So for those questions which weren't answered, I know there's quite a few, so I really apologize for that. We just didn't have the time to do so. Please come and join the Zoom session at 10 a.m. Pacific time to get a bit more detail and a bit more kind of information that wasn't able to be provided in the short time that we did have here. But I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, Tamra, Emily, and David, for the time that you've given us. I was going to say this morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. We really appreciate it, and we definitely appreciate you guys giving your advice and perspective for those students who are looking to apply in the upcoming admission cycle. So, other things to add? Nothing from myself. I don't know if you guys want to add anything before we move on to the video.
I just want to say, Linda, thank you so much for being our moderator and helping us through the session today. And GMAT Club, once again, thank you for this opportunity. We look forward to seeing many of you applying to our programs. And thank you, of course, to my students, Emily and David, and my colleague, Abby, on the back end.
Yes, thank you, Abby. Thanks so much for answering all the questions. It was of great help. Thank you, everyone.